Man, why do you keep spamming, dude? This is bullshit. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Oh my god, this game fucking sucks. Fucking hate fucking. There you go. The moral of the story is just learn. That's really it. The thing is, fighting games are hard, but they're not any harder than any other type of competitive game that you can learn to play. It's just a matter of, are you interested enough in playing them to actually learn how to get past what's bothering you? This might seem like an exaggeration, it might seem like hyperbole, but honestly, I have seen this way too much. I've seen people rage quit and stop playing fighting games because of literally stuff like this. And the solution to it is so simple. Now, I get that it's not common knowledge. I get that it might not seem intuitive that you can duck under that projectile. Try to figure it out. Back when there was no YouTube and there were no forums to go to online, or really that was all that you had to go to online. I'm talking about back whenever we were learning how to play fighting games in the arcades. We were so passionate about learning fighting games because they were just so sick. They were so cool. And we wanted to learn how to play them that we just figured this shit out. And we figured it out because we were interested enough to keep playing it and keep wanting to learn how to play them and how to get better. And we had this competitive drive. If you don't have that, then it doesn't matter how easy they are to play. It does not matter. You're not going to be interested. You're not going to learn. You're going to run into something like this, and it's going to be so simple. Just hold down. That's all it is. And you'll duck under it all. And as soon as your opponent sees that you're just ducking under all their projectiles, they'll stop because it's not working. It's that easy. But something so simple has caused so many people to get pissed off and say fighting games are way too hard and then quit. And really, to me, it's not because it's difficult. It's because you're just not that interested in the first place. And that's totally fine. There are certain games that I don't play because they just don't interest me. MMOs, for example. A lot of first-person shooters. I'll play Borderlands, I'll play Doom. That's about it. I'm just not interested in playing FPS games. I'm not interested in playing MMOs. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's because they're too hard. Because if I really wanted to play them, I would learn, regardless of how hard it is. Building things with your bare hands is really hard. But if you really are passionate about it, you'll learn how to do it. Fighting games are hard. But if you want to learn how to play them, you will. You will. Because you're not stupid and you're not lazy. You're not. There are a lot of things in your life that I guarantee that you do that other people would say, dude, that's really difficult. That's super difficult. But you learn how to do it because you were interested in it. You were passionate about it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. If you run into stuff like this in fighting games, I guarantee you the solution to it is so simple, because a developer worth their weight in salt couldn't possibly release a fighting game in that state where you could win by doing that legitimately, because that would be fucking stupid. That would be so dumb. So next time you run into something like this in a fighting game, take a step back and think to yourself, there's a way around it, I just need to figure it out. Do I care enough to take the time to figure it out? No. Is that okay? Yes. Does this game suck? No. Do fighting games suck? No. Do I just not like them? Yes. And that's okay. I keep thinking back to stuff like this, and it's honestly like it makes me think about other games and how they're like a puzzle. You have movement options. You can move forward, you can move backwards, you can jump, you can duck, you can jump forward, you can jump backwards, you can dash. Some games you can run, some games you can sidestep. You have movement options. If there's something that is just too much for you to handle, try to just think about how you can use your movement options to get around it, like a platformer. When you are running along and there is a little machine that's shooting little bullets at you, what are you going to do in a platformer? You're going to use your movement. You're going to try to duck under it. Oh, I can't duck under it. It's still going to hit me. Let me try to jump over it. Oh, I can jump over it. Cool. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. It's side to side. It's side to side. There's a projectile coming at me. Let me just duck and see what happens. I still get hit. Let me jump. Hey, look at that. I can jump over it, and there's plenty of space in between each projectile to continually jump over it. Just gave you the example right there. There's also a block button, by the way. Please use it. Please use it. Now, does this mean fighting games are perfect? Not by a long shot. Does this mean that fighting game developers never make mistakes? Not by a long shot. Think about Leroy. Huge example in Tekken 7. Leroy was a fucking nightmare. But that was one example where developers went a little bit overboard. Whether you want to believe they did it on purpose to make Leroy seem awesome so that people would buy him, or if they just genuinely made a mistake, I think they knew what they were doing. But that is an exception to the rule. And, well, Mortal Kombat specifically, which is funny how I use that game as an example, I understand that Mortal Kombat has done this quite a lot in the past. Think about Top Tanya. Think about Xenomorph, the alien, right? We're all talking about MKX here. But again, those are exceptions to the rule. When something is really broken, like I said, a developer who's really on top of their shit, they fix it. They get it done. This is the kind of stuff that really bothers people. Stuff like that was in this video. And that's what really confuses me, is it's not the actual broken shit. It's stuff like this. And stuff like this is like Fighting Games 101. Stuff like this is like the first month of playing fighting games. And until you get past stuff like this, you're not going to get to the point where you understand what the truly cheap bullshit actually is. Which, most of the time, there is a way around that as well. You just have to work a little bit harder. You have to understand a little bit more about how the game works. Honestly, don't let stuff like this discourage you. There's always a way around something. There are tons and tons of resources online. I mean, think about how many people have YouTube channels and how many people stream on Twitch for fighting games, and they'll teach you. They'll show you what to do. Hey, is this bothering you? Here's how you get around it. You might watch that and you might say, holy crap, I think I actually could have thought about that. Don't know why I didn't think about that. That seems pretty easy. You might look at that and say, holy crap, how the hell was I supposed to understand how to do that? That's insane. That happens to me all the time. Yeah, fighting game developers, in my opinion, I really believe they should do a lot more to help people learn their game and understand the basics and the fundamentals of the game that they made. At the same time, really, if you want to get better at something, the onus is on you to get better at it. It's up to you to grind and to learn and to ask people, make friends, ask questions, do some research, go on YouTube, go on some forums, join a Discord. You know, the community is fucking great. It's fucking great. Every community has their toxic bullshit. Every community, for everything, not even just gaming. So don't let stuff like this discourage you. Don't let stupid trolls on the internet discourage you. They're just words on the internet. That's all they are. They mean nothing to you. They mean nothing to you. just shut them out of your life. Shut them out of your life. I am imploring anyone who has even a passing interest in playing fighting games, just try them out. And don't let stuff like this discourage you. Just keep in mind, there's a way around it. I just don't know what it is yet because I don't know how the game works yet. And you can figure that out on your own if you spend enough time with it. Just fuck around with it a little bit. If you go online and you come across something that is giving you trouble, go into practice mode. Recreate with the training dummy what your opponent was doing, and you have an infinite amount of time and an infinite amount of health on your health bar to figure out how to get around it. And if you just can't do that, if you just can't figure it out, which that happens to all of us, just go online. How do you get around this thing? Strategies for dealing with this character. You have a universe of information in the palm of your hands. In the palm of your hands, literally. You're watching this on a device that fits in your pocket, and it's got an entire universe of information, and it's in the palm of your hands right now. Utilize it. Utilize it. I would say the best places to go, it depends on the game that you want to play, but for me, the best place to start if you're trying to learn how to play fighting games, Core A Gaming. I will link that channel in the description. Check that channel out. Gerald is an absolute beast. That channel is amazing. Probably my favorite channel centered around fighting game information. Sajan's channel as well. And hell, you know I'm a fan of Eris. Avoiding the Puddle goes way the fuck back. Check him out. If you're trying to learn Tekken, if you're trying to learn Soul Calibur, check out Avoiding the Puddle. Maximilian, probably the biggest fighting game content creator on the platform. I'll link his shit in the description below too. These are awesome resources. Become a part of the community, make some friends. Online, in person, whatever it is. Like I said, join a Discord. The possibilities are endless. We welcome you. We want you to learn how to play these games and have fun with us. That's what we want to do. Most of the people, the vast majority of people who play fighting games, don't play fighting games with the intention of making top 8 at EVO. That's just fact. It just doesn't happen like that. If you want to do that, if that's your goal, that's fantastic. And if your goal is to make top 8 at a tournament, start going to locals. Start competing in online tournaments, really, because of the state of the world that we're in right now. I get that. And don't get discouraged. You're gonna lose. When you first start playing fighting games, you're gonna lose a lot. A lot. Way more than you win if you even do win at all. That's just how learning new things works. Don't get discouraged.